In this video, I will explain to you how to determine the electron configurations of any element between 1 and 18. Take a look at the periodic table. I have this color-coded into the different blocks. On the left here, we call this the S block. On the right, in blue, we call that the P block. Notice that helium is also in the S block. That's why it's green. In the middle, we have the D block. That's in red. And down low in yellow we have the F block. Today in this video we're just going to focus on the S block and the P block. So to write the electron configuration of any element, you essentially read the periodic table from left to right, just like you would read a book, like this. We read straight across from left to right, and then when we finish with one row, we jump down to the next row and read it across from left to right. And when we finish with that row, we jump down to the next row, row 3, and read it straight across from left to right. As we jump down the rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to 7, we're increasing in energy. So as we go down at the top, down to row 7, we are increasing in energy. So, if you want to find the electron configuration of any element, you simply need to find it on the periodic table and then read the book from left to right and write the configuration of every element as you go. For example, let's start with hydrogen. I'm going to circle it. It's here, the first element. The first step is to write down the period, which is also the row, which is 1. Then you write the block, which is S. And then if there's more than one element in that block, then you need to write whether it's the first one or the second one and so on. Hydrogen is the first one, so I put a 1 up above the S as a superscript. And that's it. I'm finished. Hydrogen is 1s1. Helium is the next one. I'm going to circle it. It's over here on the right. It's also in the S block. It's also in the first row. So I also begin with a 1s. However, helium is the second element in the 1s. The first element was hydrogen. Because it's the second one, I need to put a 2 up in the superscript. 1s2. And now I'm finished. Let's continue. Let's jump ahead a little bit. Let's do beryllium, number 4. You still have to start from the very top. You still have to start from the top of the book and read it from left to right. So I still have my 1s1 and my 1s2. We're just going to write that as 1s2. What that means is, in the first row, we have 2 elements in the s orbital. But beryllium is in the second row, so I need to keep on going. I need to keep on reading and jump down to the second one. So now I'm in the second row, I'm going to put a 2. First I have the S block, so I put an S. And beryllium is the second element, so I'm going to put a 2. 1s2, 2s2. Now I'm finished. Let's do something after that in the P block. Let's do carbon. I'm going to circle it. It's element number 6. You always start from the very top. So the first thing I'm going to write is 1s2, because we have both our elements in the first row of the S block. Then I'm going to write 2s2, because after that I jump down and I have 2 elements in the S row, in the S block, in row 2. Now I'm still reading my book across. With this dotted line, I'm showing you where my eyes are going. I read it across the table because I've finished my first 2 S blocks. Now I go over here into the P block. I'm still in row 2, so I'm still going to put a 2 here. But this time I'm going to put a P, because now I've traveled into the P block territory. Carbon is the second element in, so I'm going to put a 2 here in the superscript. 1s2, 2p2. I'm now finished. For our next element, let's do fluorine over here. Element number 9. I'm still going to start the same way, because it always starts the same way. It's always the same periodic table. So I still start with 1 2S2, 2S2. Then I read across over into the P block, 2P. And now I count how many over fluorine is. Fluorine is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over. It is the fifth element in the P block. So I put a 5 up here as my superscript. Now I'm finished. Let's do something that's in the third row. Let's do magnesium next. Magnesium is in the third row. It's in the S block. So I already know in my head it's going to end in 3S. But we can't just jump to the end. We got to start from the beginning. We have to start with 1S2, and then go down to the second row and go 2S2, and then travel across into the P block territory. So now I'm in 2P. But we go all the way across into P block. I don't stop at the first one or the second one or the third one. I go all the way across all 6 because I want to go straight through that entire P block. So I put a 6 up here. Then I jump down to the next level, which is the third row. So I'm going to put a 3 there. And I'm back into the S block, so I put an S. And my element is magnesium, which is the second element in that S block. So I put a 2, and now I'm finished. Okay, let's do something in the P block in the third row. Oops. Excuse me. Okay, let's do sulfur, number 16. I'm already thinking in my head, okay, sulfur is in the third row, it's in the P block, so this electron configuration is going to end in 3P. But it's going to start at the very top of the page. We can't skip anything. So we start back at 1S2, then we jump down to the second row, we have 2S2, then we travel across into the P block, we have 2P6 because we travel straight across it, then we jump down into the third row. We start in the S block, we go straight across that S block, so it's going to be 3S2, then we jump across into P territory. So now I'm still in the third row, but in the P block, and my element is the 4th element in. So my superscript is going to be a 4. Oops. I'm having some trouble with the formatting here. Let me write it down here. It's not letting me write it up where I want to write it. This is going to be a 3P4. Okay? Let me cross this out. It ends with a 3P4. For those of you who are interested in the D block, the D block comes after 3P. After 3P, we jump down to D, and then after this one, you go back up to 4S, and then back over to 4P, and then back down to 5D. But we can save that for another day. I hope that this helps.